You guys are past deadline, yes. Well past deadline. English questions, please.
Kim, what's the biggest challenge for you being a married mother on tour? What have you found to be the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge, obviously, I think balancing, time just for myself, knowing when I'm happy with the amount of time that I spend with Jada and the amount of time that I have to put in, to play good tennis, and obviously in the beginning it took some time to get used to, because obviously as a mother you feel guilty sometimes, if you go off to practice, or if you're injured you have to go off, to get treatment, and that was something that I probably struggled with a little bit in the beginning, and still sometimes. I mean, obviously my team, they know that it's important for me to have that time with Brian and with Jada, because otherwise I'm going to look at tennis as kind of something that interferes with my private life, and so it needs to be it's a very delicate, it's a fine line, but so far it's been going good, and as I've been on the road now for almost a year, it just gets easier and easier, and Jada's getting older, so it's becoming easier.
What do you think is the difference from a married female player on the tour compared to a married male player? Is there any difference as you've seen it now? Do they have different challenges than male players?
I don't know. Maybe you should, sit Roger next to me and then we can have that discussion. I don't know. I mean, I obviously can't talk for, a male player, but I just know that, obviously there's tough challenges, as any mother, I think, sometimes has,
Kim, what uncertainty did you have about your injury when you started the Open, and what answers have you gotten by playing so far?
I mean, my injury was when I got injured, a few years ago. I mean, straight away when it's something that you have to worry about, or where you're like, or where you kind of feel, oh, I don't want this to happen. But with this injury, I felt very, that a few days, and just to take it easy, that it would get better. So, and then it hasn't flared up again, or it hasn't, proven to cause any more problems. So, I guess it was a good feeling that I had then. Because otherwise, I mean, if it was something really bad, I wouldn't finish that match off, obviously, in that third set.
How satisfied are you with how you've made it through so far, and what do you feel about the outlook for the matches to come?
I mean, my level definitely has to get better. Obviously, I'm satisfied that I've gotten through, but my level definitely has to, become better, and I have to, find that good feeling where you can kind of just, without thinking too much, play freely, move freely, without, I feel like now, because I'm not feeling the ball as well as I would like to, that I'm probably maybe thinking a little bit too much out there, about taking those small steps and moving, to the sideline, and moving forward, and but you need that first, so you can, push yourself to get that good feeling back, and so I'm just waiting for it to get there.
Is it a mental change that needs to be made to raise your level, or a physical one, or both?
No, I mean, mentally, I'm really, trying to stay positive, each match, and every rally that I'm playing where I feel like I'm not hitting the ball well, I'm telling myself, I've probably never been more positive talking to myself in between points, just by giving myself, okay, that's okay, forget about, the bad feeling, just keep going forward, and just keep trying, and that's what I'm trying to do. But sometimes it is frustrating when you're really focusing on something, and I guess it's maybe like, when you guys are writing and you kind of feel like the words are not coming out the way you want them to, and it becomes frustrating because you have that deadline to make. I mean, there's moments where it is frustrating, but you just have to hang in there and you have to keep trying, because I think hard work pays off, and hopefully it will.
Kim, by the way, that's like every day for me. We were talking to Sally. She met you, got her picture taken with you 10 years ago, and it was still kind of left her in awe. Do you have anything that is close to that in your history, where you were playing somebody that you had posters of?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I had, posters of Steffi Graf, Monica Seles. Probably for another reason, I had posters of Pat Rafter on my in my room. But it was, I mean, I remember playing Steffi Graf, at Wimbledon and qualifying there and playing her in, I think, third or fourth round, or I don't know. And it was a very, I mean, I just remember walking to court 1 next to her and just remember I was just so in awe, of the name Steffi Graf, and then the person, her being there, and sometimes I couldn't even believe that I was, walking next to her. And it's something that you need to experience, and it's something that makes you more mature. It's something that, like I said, you have to experience it, and it I mean, to me, it's definitely been a career-changing moment, just because it makes you realize, that those players they're just like people. You look at them as you're growing up, and you think, oh my God, Steffi Graf, and you look at them as kind of, I don't know, machines or robots, and that they're, unreachable. And then when I was next to her, I mean, she's just, a normal person who plays really good tennis and who I admired. But and then that's something that, to me, then I think made me realize that, she was one of the probably most professional girls out there, and that's what you have to do if you want to get there. And if you want to get there and do well, then it's the hard work and the details that make a difference.
Kim, Sally was saying that she just didn't want it to end out there, that she was having so much fun with the experience. What did you think of the way she played? What were your opinions?
I mean, I definitely, I didn't think she played her best tennis out there today. Obviously, the emotions of playing that night match here at the U.S. Open, especially, it's such a special occasion, and then, for her probably, playing against me, obviously, with everything that I've heard over these last few days, probably is something that plays a big part of some extra nerves that get into that. I remember when I played against Steffi, same thing. I mean, there's absolutely nothing that I remember about that match, but I remember walking next to her, admiring her from head to toe, and that's what I remember. But it's nothing to do with tennis or how I was feeling, or because it was just overwhelming. I was just overwhelmed by nerves, and maybe, I think maybe she was a little bit in that kind of situation. But she's a good player. She's, I'm gonna be interested in seeing how she does, and I'm definitely gonna follow up on her, because I think this tonight is not a good, you don't get a good idea of how well she can play, I think, in these kind of situations. I think, I wish I would have seen her play against Wozniacki, or, in her qualifying matches, because then you kind of get a better feel for how she reacts, when matches are getting close, and I think that's where you can define a good player. But obviously she has a good attitude. She has a good, group of people around her that know a lot about tennis. Obviously in Australia there's a lot of help, and people like Tony Roach and everybody, I think they obviously know what it's like to to be playing these big events. And I think it's always nice to have some experienced people to guide you through your first few big Grand Slams.
Last question,
You're a young
English.
player involved with Leighton. Did you ever think to yourself, did it ever cross your mind that no married couple had ever really excelled in pro tennis?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Did you get to meet Patrick Rafter, and what were your thoughts then?
I did. Again, they're just human beings, people, normal people, and yeah, I mean, it's like me, kids now who look at singers, or and they think, oh my God, they're so, but they're just like you and me, same, they just different talents.